Hello, hello. Welcome back. Cutting to Old Trafford with your host EB and Shady. Guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification. We are at our transfer roundup. 1 week out before the transfer window closes. Abdul, the Arsenal, ons gaan in.
Ons gaan in,
Guys,
papa. Ons gaan
there's
in.
some good rumblings
The
happening
things
around
are
the
happening.
Arsenal. So, Abdul, talk to us. What's happening?
Okay.
1 week to go before the transfer window closes. Are Arsenal looking to bring in anybody?
Yes, okay. So, EB, good news, good news. At the moment, Mikel Merino is
Ooh.
on his way to London Colony for his medical. Edu has been working the whole week. I've been following the story. So, they started at 42 million. Then they went in at 35 million. Edu's got them down to 33.5 million, including all add-ons, right? So this one is over the line. A good player, 4-year contract, good dual winner. Finally, we can now place what we've been missing last season is at Shakaro. A dual winner, a combat winner, somebody that's going to really go toe to toe with the opposition. He's a 6.2. So he's got that experience and he's got that mobility to really do well with Partey.
And I mean,
Right.
generally, Arsenal don't have so many big players. I
Yeah,
know you've got
yeah.
Declan Rice, you maybe got a Havertz, but generally the players are quite shorter.
Are quite
So
much
to
smaller.
get Marino in at 6'2", baller,
It's a good
brawler,
move. Yes,
and
yes.
we've seen what he did for Spain at the Euros.
Oh
Really
yes,
important
oh yes.
towards Spain.
He scored. Was it the winner?
Uh,
Header, but he scored like a very important,
Important goal.
goal.
I'm not sure about it, guys. Drop into the
Yeah,
comments.
please,
Let us
please do,
know.
please do.
But Marino, you saw what he did for Spain.
Yeah.
Really controlled that midfield and allowed them to play forward. So
Yeah.
I think it would be a fantastic addition.
Yeah,
to you
so
guys.
he does know what England is like. He was for a short time at Newcastle, and what better place to go? Newcastle, you really get the real England effect, right? So that one looks like ons gaan in, ons is daar, EB, right? So that's good. Another one that I like to quickly also touch on, Joan Garcia, a
Joan Garcia.
23-year-old Olympic champion with Spain, goalkeeper. We all know that Aaron Ramsdale, guys, Arsenal are looking for a permanent deal. However, a lot of loan deals have come in. Southampton, Wolves, I think there was a Spanish team as well. They're looking for all and out
I think
sale.
you guys are going to let him go.
I think let him go,
eventually,
set him free. I mean, let him get back that number one
England.
England jersey. So Joan Garcia, guys from Espanyol, looking good. We're looking at a big fee, almost 35 million. Right? So it would be like a proper swap. Joan Garcia for Aaron Ramsdale. And what I like about Joan Garcia is a Spanish similar. He's like a mini me of Raya.
Yep.
Right?
So they
Good
can
with his feet.
interchange in
He
and
can
out.
interchange. Good with his feet. Knows how to play into the channels with the long ball forward, striking the attack, stuff like that. So I'm happy with it. Also, guys, but this year you got to take with a pinch of salt.
Guys,
Okay?
let's get our sort out.
Right. Nico Williams. We are monitoring.
Definitely a pinch of salt.
No. We're monitoring. Right? But just with the guys, but Nico Williams, I mean, who does he also? I mean, Martinelli and Saka. But okay, we're monitoring, right? Pinch of salt. Another one. And this one here, take a bit seriously. It looks
Guys,
like it
before
might
Abdul
happen.
carries on, I just want to say the Nico Williams one. Besides the pinch of salt, you know what I'm going to tell Abdul?
Okay.
Dilulu.
Oh, okay. Nico Williams, we're waiting for you. Maybe not this season, but soon, right? Okay, that one there. Another one also, which is looking good. Adamawa Lukman, aka in Roshni is Lukman. In Afrikaans, Kickman, right? So at Atalanta at the moment, I see PSG have got a verbal agreement, but also really monitoring nothing concrete at the moment. That's why I say take it with a pinch of salt. Okay, one of the biggest news. Okay, before the biggest news, one more EB, Eddie Nketiah. Now this is important because
So now we're going on to the outgoings.
the outgoings, right? So that was incoming. Sorry guys, right? So yeah, because my last one's also incoming, but it's a current one, right? I'm going to hit that one, right? Because that's my last. I'm going to end it there. Eddie Nketiah, 35 million, Arsenal holding
Good
on.
fee.
I was looking at about a 70, 75 million. You know, with a little bit of add-ons, we can go to about 77.5 million. You know, just a little bit of, okay, 60 million.
Dilulu.
55 million.
Dilulu.
Okay, 35 million. We'll
35
take
million, I think it's fair.
35 million, we take it, right? But a few add-ons here, we can get it to about 45
And I
million.
think that's people sleep on what Edu is been doing. To
Mhm.
get 35 million for Smith Rowe, to
Correct.
bring in 35 million for Nketiah as he goes out,
Yes.
meaning the transfer work that he's done to bring in Calafiori, bring in Marino, is
Yeah.
almost at the net zero spend,
Correct.
allowing Arsenal to jump into the
Generate.
January transfer market and go again next year if they need to bolster in other areas. So
Amazing.
brilliant work by him.
Amazing. No, it's brilliant. And the last one, you got to say this with me before we jump on to the other side of coming to Old Trafford, Manchester United. You got to say this with me, okay? On Schan and on 3, 2, 1.
On
Schan
Schan
and Mikel Arteta is on the verge, and if you guys can say I brought the red pen today because it's danger. Mikel Arteta is on the verge of signing Ibrahim a long-term contract that is going to hold him there for the next, they saying even 6 or 7
That's
years. He
fantastic.
believes in the project. He believes in the club. He's there for the long term.
And that's a big win.
So,
To tie
yeah,
in
it's amazing.
Arteta at
It's
the
amazing.
time where Klopp is leaving
Yeah.
or Klopp is left,
Yes.
Pep Guardiola coming to the end of
Yeah.
his contract, you know, having stability with someone like Arteta at the helm for a longer period of time really sets Arsenal up, if not for this season, but for the future
Yeah.
seasons to come. So,
And
fantastic work.
Ibidibidu, that's a wrap. North London forever. Here we go.
Done. Old Trafford, Manchester United. Obviously, we've done some business already,
Yeah.
but with a week to go, a few incomings and a few outgoings. Obviously, the name that's on everybody's lips at the moment, Ugarte, Emmanuel Ugarte from PSG. This is a transfer saga. We can call it a
Yes, yes,
saga
yes.
now because it's been going on for close to 8 weeks. Terms agreed. We've got a willing seller. We've got a willing buyer. Everything is there. It's just the finer details need to come out. PSG are holding out for 60 million euro fee. Manchester United want to play something closer to 45 plus add-ons, taking up to about 50 million euros. We've got super agent, kind of brokering the deal. Cristiano Ronaldo's agent
Oh,
or
okay.
ex-agent,
Brilliant.
kind of brokering the deal. So there's a lot of interest in this transfer, and I think it will get over the line. But I think PSG and United are trying to find a middle ground, and I think the way they're going to do is they're going to kind of potentially, come down in the price
Yeah,
from a
yeah.
PSG perspective, but then United will take him on loan for a season with an
Also
obligation to buy.
Okay.
So obligation to buy meaning at the end of the loan, Manchester United have no option but to buy the player from PSG, irrespective of how that loan turns out. So I think by the time the transfer window closes, Manuel Ugarte will be a Manchester United player.
Ibrahim, sorry to trouble you. Ugarte, I've been reading and watching a few. He's a baller. He's a beast. You have Martinez, and you get Ugarte. Argentina, Uruguay. Do you know what kind of?
And what Ten Hag is
Wow.
building is a team of leaders.
Oh yes.
You've
Oh
got
yes.
Yunus Mazraoui, who came from Bayern Munich, a leader in his own right. I love that boy, by the way.
Oh yes. Oh, yes.
Fantastic work ethic. You've got De Ligt and Martinez, who are leaders. We're going to go into midfield. You've got the likes of Casemiro. You're going to have Ugarte, Bruno. You've got Xerxes, Hoyland, all big personalities who can really take on
Oh,
that,
yes.
that,
Definitely.
that captain role outside having the captain's armband on.
Mhm.
That's what
Mhm.
Manchester United have been lacking in the background. So they are really looking forward to Ugarte
Amazing.
coming in. That he can play as an 8, play as a 6,
Oh,
really
yes.
break up
Versatile.
that play and work across that midfield. And I think United have been crying out for someone like that
Most
for a
definitely.
long, long time. So Ugarte, obviously. But then we've also, in what we've been doing is, snapping up a lot of young talent for the future. Obviously, Obi Martin from Arsenal.
Correct.
Correct. And now we're going for Kune, Mali youngster, 18 years old, big
Wow.
potential. Also a number 6, number 8. Really tipped to be a real brawler. I'll be honest, I don't know much about him, but I've seen some YouTube clips, and what I've seen from him is a really hard hitter, gets dirty, gets into the play, breaks up the play, moves the ball forward, and he's someone for the future. Goes straight into our reserve team, and then hopefully in a year or two we'll be ready to take the leap up to the first team.
Wow.
So what I like about Ineos is they're not keeping an eye on the current, but they're also keeping an eye on the future.
Oh,
And
brilliant.
these young signings like Obi
Yes,
Martin,
yes.
like Kone,
Yeah.
is obviously just going to set Manchester United up for the future.
Amazing.
A few other potential ins before the transfer window closes. Obviously, a week left to go. There's talks about a second midfielder coming in, potentially on loan or maybe on the cheap, 20 to 25 million euros, in the form of tying up someone like Amrabat. Obviously, he will be a little bit cheaper, I think around 15 million euros. Tying up Amrabat towards the end of the window if we manage to move one or two midfielders. There's also talk about Rabiot. I know Rabiot has been talking to a lot of teams in the Premier League, Liverpool being one of them. But Manchester United have been linked heavily to him for a couple of seasons. And, just keep an eye on it. There is some potential noise about it, and it could be a deadline day signing where we bring in Rabiot.
Or
Rabiot.
Rabiot. Ooh, that would be
Amrabat
a.
or Rabiot to come in as its second midfielder
I
to
would love
provide
that.
some
Okay,
depth.
for you guys, I would love Rabiot, but Amrabat, don't you think?
I
Look,
got a
look,
liking to
look,
Amrabat.
Amrabat, for me, as a rival fan and as a fan, Amrabat came in last year to Manchester United when you guys were a bit derailed.
Exactly.
There were times where he needed to play centre back. Can you remember?
Left back, centre back.
He's so versatile. And for me, look, Rabiot would be nice. Rabiot would be beautiful. But bringing on Amrabat, hits what's it? You hit the floor running. He's ready. He understands the philosophy. He worked with Ten Hag. He understands Carrington. So yeah, man, beautiful stuff.
For me, Amrabat would be the ideal midfielder.
I would think so.
But
Yeah.
let's see what happens over the next
Interesting.
week or two. From an outgoings perspective, we've seen Pelestri go to Panathinaikos. What I like is Manchester United inserted a buyback clause, and first
Good.
option on it. We also inserted a sell-on clause. 45% of any future sales will come back to us. I think he wasn't in Ten Hag's plans, so good for him to go out, make a name for himself, and then hopefully, if he develops, we have an option to bring him back by 2027.
Beautiful.
So Palestri has gone out. There's talks around two other midfielders potentially leaving, both to the Italian league. Scott McTominay, a lot of talk around Napoli. United are obviously looking for an out-and-out sale. Napoli are looking to bring him in on loan with an obligation to buy next season. But I think for Manchester United, if you're going to send Scott McTominay out of on loan, I'd rather have a Scott McTominay on the bench to come in and support us rather than go out on loan and then only potentially get a replacement next season. And the second one, obviously, yes, Jadon Sancho and Ten Hag have kind of resolved the issues, but it wasn't the same. And it looks like Jadon Sancho is on his way
There's a
out.
cloud on the relationship still, yeah.
Juventus are looking, sniffing around. PSG were there, but not really any real interest. Now, Juventus are in. Juventus are looking to get rid of Chiesa, which is really, really surprising how.
Chiesa, but is he not banned or something? No, not
No.
banned. Oh, no, he's just.
No, Chiesa is a brilliant
But I
player.
like
His
Chiesa.
father was a
He was
fantastic
2 years ago
footballer.
when we started gunning to Old Trafford, guys. I would never
Spoke
forget.
about him,
Go back to the first one. It's 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm derailing here, right? But go back and Chiesa. And when Ibrahim speaks of Chiesa, you can see
I
that
loved it, boys. man.
Ibrahim spoke about Chiesa. Our first gunning to Old Trafford episode. And I think Arsenal were going in for
He
him.
was a fantastic player for Italy at the Euros.
Oh,
He
yes.
was
Oh,
pivotal
yes.
to them winning the Euros.
Baller,
And he's
man.
just fallen off with the ownership at Juventus. They've trying to push him out. I'm hoping United surprise us with a swap
That would
deal,
be
a Chiesa for Sancho, but I think that's a bit far-fetched.
Give Ten Hag a call, Ibi. That
Come
makes
on,
so much
Come on,
sense.
Eric. Chiesa for Sancho. I don't think it will happen. I think Chiesa is probably on his way out of Juventus to another club in Italy, and that will open the door up for Jadon Sancho to be purchased by Juventus. Juventus are also looking for a loan with an obligation to buy, but Manchester United are looking for an outright sale. One to help with the rules around
Yes,
financial fair play,
FFP,
all of that.
Yeah.
PSR or
FFP,
FFP,
financial
or
fair
whatever.
play.
So they're
Can't
trying to
believe I
sort
got
that
that
out.
right.
And then also, bolster our midfield in the
Yes,
form of a Ugarte or a Amrabat, etc. So that's it from a Manchester United perspective. Let's not sleep on the last week of the
Yeah.
window. Anything can
It's going to be
happen.
exciting.
If a deal happens, pops up, you never know. Keep an eye on Sterling. I think Sterling to Arsenal could
Hey,
happen.
sorry, I forgot about that.
I think there's some noise. Arsenal have made it clear. I mean, Chelsea have made it clear that Sterling doesn't have a place. Sterling's in London. It makes sense to bring him in. He'll help Arsenal. I think keep an eye on that. That's something that could potentially happen in the last week of the transfer window. But guys, I leave that for
Okay,
Drew
no,
to kind of
no, but you know what? Look, no disrespect to our, he's a good player, but he can play as a second fiddle to a Bukayo, a Gabi,
You can give Bukayo the rest he needs
and
now.
Bukayo needs rest.
And
You know what I
and
always say?
Sterling is 29 years old, at the
Yes,
prime of his career.
Maybe I
he's
wish
still got a
Saka
lot
can
to
just decide to come take a holiday here in Washington.
Yeah, come chill with
Be
us.
with the boys. Come on, Saka. We're gonna get
Do it
Raheem
for
man
us.
and do it for us, man. Sorry guys, it's me again.
Guys, so keep an eye on the transfer window. There's
Yeah.
always crazy things that happens the last week. Obviously, by next week, this time, we should be wrapping up the transfer
Ooh.
window. So we're almost there.
Yeah.
Guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification.
Yeah.
We'll keep you updated with all of the transfer goings
Yes.
in and out of Manchester United and Arsenal. On gaan in. Remember that.
And Papa.
Remember that. And guys, with that, we are
Yeah.
Gunning
Gunning to Old Trafford. Thank you guys.